The Tournament of Power in Dragon Ball Super was by far one of the most intense arcs in shonen history, and for good reason, as Son Goku, Vegeta, Son Gohan, and the other members of Universe 7 had to duke it out with 7 other universes for the very survival of their cosmos. But what if Zeno-sama decided to host a second Tournament of Power and brought in new competitors to the fray from the massive world of Marvel Comics? Would Goku's true Ultra Instinct, Vegeta's Spirit Fission, Gohan's insane potential, and Frieza's devilish nature be enough to take them down, or would they fall to these new contenders? In this video, we will be using the main 616 versions of 10 characters from the comics, and give Goku an overpowered team as he would be joined by Ultra Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan, Black Frieza, the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, Majin Buu, Orange Piccolo, Granola, and the limitless androids 17 and 18. And with me today to discuss this is my homie Dr. Goon, so say what's up, G.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dr. Goon. Shout out to Goon Nation if you haven't seen my channel. Check it out. I talk about Chuck all the time on there. And yeah, I'm excited to do this, mostly known for my comic stuff. I like to touch Dragon Ball every now and then. I think me and Chuck, one of the first things we ever talked about when we became friends was this topic, because it was a really dope video back in the day, so it's cool to spin the block and do it again. So I'm very excited for this.
But to start off our list, we're gonna go with Big Boy Ben Grimm, the Thing from the Fantastic Four, who I think is a character that a lot of people underestimate. I certainly underestimated him a lot until I was enlightened by Mr. Goons over here. So, like, he has been able to fight against Silver Surfer and knocked him out. He's been able to fight against Doctor Doom. He's beaten him with and without the Power Cosmic. And he's even fought against the Hulk before, and they're actually pretty roughly equal for the most part. But what's the other crazy that he's done?
Yeah, before I get into that, I just want to let everyone know we are assuming, for narrative's sake, that Marvel's agreed to partake in this tournament, because there's a couple characters we're going to name that probably wouldn't put up with Zeno's like if it really came down to it. But we're assuming, for whatever reason, whether or not someone from Marvel also forces their tournament, they fully are compliant with the rules to the best of their abilities. But getting into Ben's things, Ben's always been one of the greatest powerhouses in Marvel because he's a part of the team for Marvel in the Fantastic Four that explores the cosmology. He's the one sent to the dangerous realms and dimensions, so obviously he has to be tough enough as the strongest in the group to survive that. Like he mentioned, he's historically gone toe-to-toe with Hulk, even fought some of his strongest forms and lived to tell the tale, like Worldbreaker. On top of this, he has fought the likes of Terrax, another cosmic-fueled being. He has fought Surfer, both feral and non-feral states, bloodlusted and civil. Regardless, he's gone toe-to-toe with him. He has taken on the likes of extra-dimensional monsters. He fought a cosmic being who was shown to be capable of killing celestial beings like Eternity. These are abstracts beyond time, space, and dimensions. Yet he went toe-to-toe with this being itself and was not worried at all. Champion of the Universe considers him the most willful and the best representation of the fighters of Earth. He took on a destroyer armor typically fueled by the Odin Force, but he took on one powered and puppeted by Galactus himself. And he was also one of the first ones to knock over Galactus in comics on panel. As well as traditionally, he's hung out with the likes of Doctor Strange and taken on the extra-dimensional monsters that Strange faces. So, in terms of powers, he's pretty simple. He has extreme physical prowess due to getting hit with cosmic rays. These cosmic rays, by the way, were confirmed to be the same kind of power that it affects the likes of Silver Surfer. So it kind of explains why the Fantastic Four can range so greatly in power. But his durability, strength, he's gone toe-to-toe with likes of Hulk, Namor, and beings of that level. He physically can hang with pretty much anyone, as well as he's trained with the Avengers, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, who has countless arrays of trainings, and this has allowed him to become quite a formidable brawler type. So even skill-wise, he's a lot better than most people think, and I definitely think he's a sleeper cell going into this tournament. He's very dangerous.
Yeah, and to further back up that he is like right up there with like Hulk and Thor tiers, Hyperion, when he fought the Thing, he straight up said that he punches as hard as Thor. So we've seen Thor being able to like dish out like casual multi-solar system, galactic, universal, multiversal levels of power, even higher. So like the Thing can definitely like, you know, reach those levels of power at its peak for sure. Next up on the list is someone that I think is gonna be really underrated, and I think that is Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So yeah, for the most part, he does like seem to struggle against like fodder like the Rhino or the Vulture. But when Peter Parker is like not holding back, when he goes fully in, he can do a lot of crazy stuff, and he's done this consistently actually. So for example, he's actually kept up with the suppressed Silver Surfer. He's even taken hits from him, even when he said he wasn't holding back. Even crazier still, he's also kept up with Gladiator. He even said he was as strong as him, and Gladiator has kept up with Silver Surfer and level characters and stuff like that. He's fought against Firelord. He actually beat the hell out of him, and Firelord has fought against the likes of Thor and Phoenix, Jean Grey. And as we mentioned earlier with the Thing, he's really damn strong in his own, but to make it even crazier still, Spider-Man, while like pretty much going like balls to the wall, he was able to actually hurt Angrier, who was an amp thing. And to make it even crazier, alongside Captain America, he was able to defeat the Hulk. I don't know how the hell they did it, but they did it. And he even finessed the hell out of the X-Men pretty cleanly, even without even trying to hurt them. So he can clearly, like, deal with Herald-level characters and higher if he really needs to. Spider-Man's webs can hold back the Thing, who is pretty damn strong. I think that his webs could certainly be trouble for suppressed versions of our heroes, and could certainly hold back Zelda Boo Saga tiers, possibly higher, in the tournament.
I definitely think Spider-Man has fantastic speed and reaction arguments to put him in contention with this level of power. He's avoided the X-Men and the Avengers. He's kept up with Heralds, like Chuck said. He's also fought beings like Joe Fixit, who, albeit it's not the strongest version of Hulk, is strong. Kept up with Grey Hulk as well. Able to dodge extra-dimensional beings that were the army of an Elder God. Spider-Man's always been pretty quick. Like Superior Spider-Man outraced the Avengers, basically kept them off his ass once they were trying to take him in. He's pretty damn fast. He's kept up with Ben Grimm as well, who we already spoke on. Why physically he can go toe-to-toe with most. So I think his speed is more reliable in these conditions than his actual attack potency. But definitely think he's quick enough to keep up with pretty much everyone, at least for a short amount of time.
Yeah, and to further back up that he can keep up with like faster than light and massively faster than light characters, he was able to keep up with Captain Marvel as well, and Captain Marvel is comparable to other Herald-like characters who can travel across galaxies in like mere moments. He's also dodged attacks from Lightmaster, who can literally fire like lasers, which would be light speed. And he's also dodged Iron Man's repulsor beams, which are light speed as well. So yeah, he clearly can't keep up with those higher levels of speed. And his webs are actually pretty nasty too, because they have been able to take hits from a mind-controlled Thor, like while like encased in it. He's also been able to like block attacks from Human Torch, who can literally reach like supernova like levels of temperature and much higher. So
I heard some Rhino disrespect. Gotta remind the world he once suplexed Surfer and then hit him with a pinball machine. So just want that to be considered. But yeah, I would see him definitely as a supplementary piece for this Marvel team. Like, they'd look at him to be quick, like distract people, divert attacks, and maybe surprise people here and there.
Another character that I think is really, really crazy in terms of how skillful he is, it is Iron Fist. I think that he's like one of the most well-versed like martial artists in Marvel, like right up there with Daredevil, Black Panther, Captain America. You could even argue greater than them, honestly. But yeah, what's like some crazy stuff that he's done?
Yeah, Iron Fist is one of the most, in my opinion, slept-on characters in comics. He actually taps into power from Shao Lao the Undying, one of the few monsters/animal beings, cosmic beings, within creation. Shao Lao's up there with Bast, the Panther God, and the likes of Phoenix, so on and so forth. There's a couple more. But he has access to this power, and he actually, in the Battle of the Heavenly Cities arc, he absorbed all the books of the Iron Fist, which is basically verbatim infinite techniques in skillful hand-to-hand combat. He trains in a realm beyond time and space in Kunlun, the Heavenly City. His Iron Fist really doesn't have an upper limit. It's pretty much dictated by both your knowledge of the arts, your control of it, as well as your morals and how much power you want to use. We know the Iron Fist could kill Luke Cage, who can tussle with the likes of Hulk and Ben Grimm, and Doctor Doom for $200. Amazing story. He's also capable of knocking back Scar. He's accidentally one-shot Hulk by depowering him completely with his Iron Fist aura, and that's like a byproduct, which might be an interesting aspect to the battle we'll talk about when we go over. He also can heal people with his chi, perform chi blasts, absorb energy blasts, even from gods. He's fought in the different layers of hell, and he's fought the best martial artists in the multiverse and in the cities beyond time and space, aka the Heavenly Cities. He's gone against the likes of Fat Cobra and held his own. Fat Cobra admittedly did beat a kind of distractive Iron Fist, but even going toe-to-toe for some time and later is crazy. Fat Cobra, for instance, absolutely destroyed Fin Fang Foom and took down Merge Sentry. Fin Fang Foom being someone associated with commonly being able to battle Hulk. So in terms of skill, the capabilities and potential of the Iron Fist, as well as its different chi properties, his knowledge and expertise in unarmed combat, I think Iron Fist is a wild card here in terms of what he brings to the table for the Marvel team.
Right, so next up is a character that I think is going to be really annoying for the Dragon Ball team to take care of, and the other contenders as well, and that is Ghost Rider. We will mostly be talking about Johnny Blaze, but since he should be comparable to the other Ghost Riders. But Johnny Blaze has basically been able to, like, fight against the Avengers. He's also, stated as much of a threat by Doctor Strange that he could potentially have beaten World War Hulk, who, was slapping around, like, pretty much everyone, like Juggernaut and the X-Men. And, who eventually fought Sentry, who literally has the power of millions of exploding suns, and it's like even actually a lowball, but like, yeah, like these characters are this strong, and he can, deal with stuff like that. And he's done even crazier stuff in the current comics as well.
Yeah, we recently saw that Blaze took over as the King of Hell. He essentially took down Mephisto, absolutely bullied Mephisto, felt he was best to lead Hell, but quickly found out Hell is a very complicated place politically. However, we did get some crazy feats in recent time in going against the likes of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange himself straight up said this was a being he can't hold back against. This is a being Strange had to go all out for, which includes using the power of the Falteens, with all Falteens being the race that Dormammu, the Hell Lord, comes from. So he can casually box on that tier. I think what makes Ryder the most annoying is that this is a being that doesn't really care about your hacks. Unless you're at some insane power level, have spiritual / mystic weapons that are OP as you're not really gonna bother him. He's a spirit of vengeance, a former king of hell, who's taken on entire layers of hell by himself. He has his chains, which can bind Hulk tiers pretty easily, even Hell Lords like Mephisto that he literally dragged with him. He also can ignore mystic attacks, energy attacks, binding attacks, can walk through it with the protection of the spirit as well as his hellfire and hell magic. Overall, Ghost Rider's an absolute tank. Obviously has his penance there, which can cripple you by making you look upon the pain and suffering you've caused to others, and it kind of reflects that back on you. These kind of techniques can even drop the likes of Galactus, although it is worth noting this technique's not going to work on you if you're a crazy son of a... it didn't work on Punisher. So there is certain personality limits to it, but overall, Ghost Rider is literally a walking tank for this team and an absolute problem for anyone trying to 1v1.
Yeah, and to add on to what you were talking about, like with Dormammu and Mephisto, so these guys are so powerful that when Mephisto would have like fought against Hela, who's basically like another Hell Lord like tier character, they can endanger like the whole multiverse as infinite layers. And Dormammu can like battle against Eternity, and the Dark Dimension that he rules is literally so huge that it transcends the infinitely layered universe. The normal 616 universe. It's also like beyond that in Asgard. And Asgard is already beyond time and space. and the Dark Dimension has infinite universes and dimensions within it. So if Ghost Rider can deal with characters like that, like, it's not looking too good. Alright, so this is a pick that I think is really interesting because people might not really expect this character to do much, but we have Wolverine, Logan, who might not seem like that much of a threat at first, but with his claws, he's definitely a damn menace because he has been able to scratch and straight up like hurt Thor and Hulk, and even the Thing before too. He actually straight up beat the hell out of Grey Hulk one time as well, from what I recall. And the alternate universes as well, he's been able to like cut through Thanos's like hand, and he's also been able to like straight up decapitate Maestro Hulk, who's basically like an Elder Hulk. So his claws can definitely like do some work, you know?
Wolverine is, and I kind of got to bring this up so no one comments about it. I did have one time a scaling terrorist spree where I would take Wolverine and go bully people that repped Goku. That's more so just a testament to how crazy his resume is. On Tuesday, he might get knocked the fuck out by a deer. On Thursday, he might knock out a god. Like, that's how Wolverine happens to be everywhere. But I think something that's important to note is skill-wise, hunting-wise, and savagery-wise as a predator, Wolverine's pretty much unmatched. Kraven the Hunter, who has literally hunted every animal and being on Earth, even hunted in Asgard and has dealt with like gods of hunting and like that, he acknowledges Wolverine is the GOAT. Wolverine can easily keep up with Captain America in skill, even land crippling attacks on him. He considers beating up Spider-Man not a feat. He considers Spider-Man basically a child compared to him, which, to be fair, Peter Parker is often young. But regardless, he's been around for hundreds of years. He's fought on both the Avengers and the X-Men and other teams. He actually beat Iron Fist in sparring. He took down Wendigo when he was in his Berserker mode. Wendigo being able to go back and forth with Hulk on several occasions. He can take down Omega Red, who is capable of taking down the rest of the X-Men. He's been shown, famously in Old Man Logan, to be able to take out basically all the X-Men if he thinks they're his enemies. With his adamantium claws, he's capable of cutting pretty much anyone here. On top of that, it coats his skeleton, and it's allowed him to withstand attacks from beings like Nemrod, who's capable of taking down Apocalypse. So yeah, in terms of toughness, skill, and attack potency via the cutting power of the claws, Wolverine's hit or miss, but if he hits, it's going to be a problem for Team Dragon Ball.
And another fellow X-Man, or X-Woman in this case, is Storm, who I think is also a pretty interesting wild card because she can hit as hard as Thor pretty much. She's been able to like do crazy stuff in the past, even before she even got like her god form, and because yes, pretty much every Marvel character has a god form now. But even before like she got this amp, she was able to duke it out with Stardust, who has fought against Beta Ray Bill, who literally had like a Super Saiyan God, like God Goku versus Beerus type feed where Beta Ray Bill and Stardust actually shook the universe, which is infinite. Storm has also been able to keep up with Phoenix Force Emma Frost, who straight up beat Thor. So yeah, she definitely has a lot of raw power on her side. But I do think that, you know, durability-wise, she's definitely not going to be looking in a good spot. But I think she has enough raw power to keep up with many of the high tiers in the tournament.
Yeah, Storm's a wild case because especially in recent comics, she's gotten a lot of respect from writers in terms of what she's capable of. We know Omega level mutants nowadays essentially means limitless power or no known upper limit. She's killed other Omega level mutants. Keep in mind, these Omega level mutants can fight on extra dimensional planes. They can go to realms of abstract thoughts and dreams beyond math, logic, possibilities. It's to an insane degree. She fought against Uranos the Undying, who, if you didn't know, is basically the thug life uncle of Thanos, to the point that Thanos didn't seem to want to 1v1 Big Unk. So you gotta respect Uranos, who's also like 2% of his weapons, as well as himself, can pretty much eradicate all the mutants in less than an hour. Even Omega's like, it's crazy how strong he is. She got the attention of Null. She recently killed Nimrod. She made immortal Thor bleed, who's boxing an Elder God. She joined the Thor Corps. She's absolutely broken. and her attack potency can compete with anyone. Her cosmic weather powers is going to affect anything. She's capable of wielding Mjolnir. That would suck for everybody on Dragon Ball if she just stuck her hand out and throughout the dimensions comes Mjolnir and she just cooks with that. Like, there's like, I don't know if that would happen, but it's possible. It just shows how crazy she is right now. Yeah, definitely on the attack potency and capabilities side, she's an absolute problem for these characters. And another thing is she can like take away the air, take away how you breathe. We know Saiyans currently have to breathe, so just saying that could be a bit of an issue.
I know, the next character, I thought it was a meme pick, but after, like, Dr. Goons, basically, you know...
You saw it wrong.
He showed me the Carfax, basically, and this mofo's actually been able to do crazy stuff, like facing off against Hulk, who has, once again, fought against Thor, and, you know, Silver Surfer, and the Thing. He's also endured attacks from Scarlet Witch and Vision can literally, like phase through your molecules and stuff like that, and he didn't seem to be bothered by that. And he's also up Wolverine pretty badly, and, you know, we've seen what Wolverine can do. And to make it even crazier, he's also endured hits from Hercules, and Hercules has been shown as being comparable to Thor and other Herald-type characters, so... Yeah, and that's just, like, the tip of the iceberg for what he's done.
Yeah, Big Blob is someone who should go without having to be named because he runs. But Blob's one of my favorite characters just because he's so randomly OP. He actually doesn't even have a complete understanding of his powers, but essentially his willpower, what he thinks his molecules react to. So if he has his feet planted, he thinks you can't move me, you can't. He's done this to Hulk. He's done this to the same Vision that boxed with Silver Surfer, and he f***ed up Vision twice and actually has better control on a molecular level than even Vision has, who literally has the programming for it. So that's pretty crazy. He's boxed other versions of Hulk and could tell right away they were different gamma. He once gathered circus freaks and took down the X-Men. He turned Colossus into a Russian fraud. Okay, he beats the shit out of him all the time. He's someone with actually a fantastic historic win record. Magneto, when assembling a team to take down the X-Men and those who stood against him, Blob was his first pick. Essentially, if his feet are planted, there's almost no force that can move him. So he, in terms of a literal brawler, he can go toe-to-toe with anyone. Hercules' same punches that could kill Atlas the God made Blob laugh. So it's rough if you get in the trenches with Dukes and he's trying to kick your ass, okay? He's pulled up on the Avengers before. He does not care.
Now, a really spicy pick for the team, I think, is Apocalypse, because he is like the X-Men's arch nemesis, apart from Magneto. He has a lot of crazy abilities. He can, like, manipulate molecules. He can, like, basically project energy. He can also, like, straight up, like, tap into your mind and, you know, like, erase it or just do whatever he wants with it, pretty much. He's been able to fight against a lot of the high-tier telepaths. He's, like, straight up, like, annihilated the X-Men pretty hardcore multiple times. And he's even straight up, like, manhandled the Hulk. And he basically made Hulk be like, yo, bro, like, let me go, bro. So, yeah, like, like, Apocalypse is a pretty, like, nice all-rounder, because I feel like he can fight in close quarters, he can fight from a distance, he can fight, like, literally without even touching you. He can even tap into, like, some mystic arts. Although he's not as well-versed as Doctor Strange or Doctor Doom, he can definitely do it. And he also has other spicy abilities, which, you know, I will let, you know, you take over, because you can explain it really well.
Yeah, Apocalypse has always historically been one of the strongest characters in Marvel. He's a little unique to other characters because he really just wants to see everything evolve. So he's like a walking Darwin vibe check. He's also essentially a creative player. Almost any power you could have or mutant ability, Apocalypse has that. He also has celestial tech from Celestials themselves. These are the beings that rewrite universes, multiverses, creation, even narratives themselves from their cosmic machines, and he can understand this tech as well as utilize it. To put into perspective how scary he is, a young Thor did better against Gore and hurt Gore more than he did against Apocalypse. He actually had to get like Eldritch magic, blessed weapons to even do anything to Apocalypse when he has that armor on. Apocalypse also made Nimrod make several clones of himself, with just one Nimrod being able to take down pretty much all the X-Men. So he's one of the strongest X-Men. He's been around longer. Arguably is the smartest mind among the mutants. When he comes along to take over the team, they don't really argue, because in terms of power and intellect, not many can rival him. The Phoenix considers him like the greatest symbol of evil. He can fight you on multiple planes of existence. He's a unique character, very powerful, very intelligent, and is super dangerous heading into the tournament.
He also straight up, like, fought against two Thors at the same time. He did eventually lose, but, I mean, that's still pretty impressive.
Not just that, he took on the Thor Corps. He took on a whole army of Thors by himself.
Arguably, like, the strongest character, raw power-wise, on the whole team has to be Hulk. But I think Hulk is really nasty because he has regeneration. He can, grow in power, the angrier he gets. He has a lot of immense resistances to, like, pretty much any, like, type of attack you can think of. If you try to attack him, like, molecularly or, like, through, like, through, like, a soul attack or even through, like, his mind, he has countered that before. He straight up matched the power of Sentry, who, as I mentioned before, even, like, as a huge low ball, has, like, the power of millions of exploding suns. And really crazy is that even before he reached, like, his World Breaker or, Green Scar or Devil Hulk states, like, basically caused infinite dimensions to shake in his battle with the UFOs. And he's also destroyed dimensions before, like in his battle with Nightcrawler. And to further back up that he can do a lot of crazy stuff on this level, he's also straight up, like, caused havoc in Nightmare's realm. And Nightmare is a character that's seen as comparable to Mephisto and Dormammu, who, as I mentioned previously, can, like, fight eternity, like, at least 10 bodies, It can even, like, fight even higher levels as well. Even Beyonder straight up said that he had infinite power, and this was before he gets all these power-ups as well. So you're looking at multiversal, like, levels, like, for Hulk, even before, like, he gets all his power-ups. You could even say hyperversal as well, outerversal even. He has been able to, like, cause damage to the Dark Dimension, which can literally house infinite dimensions within it. Umar straight up said, "You guys are destroying my realm," I see people, like, downplay this time and time again, because they're like, they just destroyed a planet, but this extra dimensional planet is basically higher dimensional than anything in Dragon Ball, to be real.
Yeah, currently we're seeing Hulk unlocking his true potential and true destiny. I actually had the privilege to interview the current Hulk writer, Philip Kennedy Johnson. I'm also pretty good friends with him now. And this story is based around Hulk being the anger of the One Above All, aka the vessel of power and action for the One Below All. The One Below All was created by Toa to execute Brother Deep, who was created by the Mother of Horrors. Mother of Horrors created all the Eldritch and Eldest monsters and beings within creation that oppose the One Above All. She actually was created against the One Above All's knowledge and will. These are beings that scale above even the Man-Thing, who protects the nexus of all realities, which is all of creation or infinite levels and planes of existence. These monsters can also threaten that nexus. Hulk can one-shot them. He beat the out of Brother Deep, absolutely destroyed him. He took on a version of Ghost Rider from a prior war, rather. He also took on the War Devil, which is one of the eldest beings in creation. He took down the Mother of Angels, the bride to Lucifer, Morningstar, the Nephilim, who would have been second only to Lucifer. He beat the shit out of her, and Lucifer said Hulk did something even the Morningstar himself could not do. Hulk also possesses the God Flesh, which, if used by Mother of Horrors, allows her to come back and potentially kill the One Above All and the One Below All. So his potential power and immortality is literally tied to divine beings that sit at the highest hierarchies of Marvel. So his power is absolutely insane right now. He's one of the toughest characters you can find in comics.
And now, a character that I think a lot of people might be rooting for, especially me, is Dr. Doom. I think he's, like, probably, like, the wildest card of anyone on the team, because he can pretty much do pretty much anything. Like, he can hack into technology, he can, like, jump back in time with, like, bombs and stuff. He can straight up, like, absorb your energy. He's been able to absorb the energy of Silver Surfer and Galactus. Like, his armor's been able to withstand that. He's also been able to, like, make armor, like, strong enough to withstand blows from the Watcher. And the Watchers are comparable to Skyfathers, who can do like hyperversal stuff casually, if not even higher. Like we have seen with Odin in his battle with Surtur, being able to like shake the 9 realms, which are infinite. Also been able to like, tear the fabric of the multiverse in his battle with Seth. And speaking of, the Thing has also fought against Seth before, so that's a lot of crazy scaling that goes back and forth on this. But Doctor Doom can also like use magic like Doctor Strange in ways that even he like hasn't like even thought up of. So he can definitely get spicy with it. He can even like summon like demons and stuff like that. He's actually straight up fought against Mephisto alongside Doctor Strange as well. He actually has microcomputers that can analyze the skills and movements of characters, and he can actually like react to them and can even adapt over time in battle. I say that by far one of like his biggest additions to the team is technology. For example, his shields. They're actually durable enough to withstand blows from Mad Celestials. Mad Celestials being stronger than normal Celestials, which are stronger than Skyfathers like Odin and stuff like that, who already have hyperversal, outerversal scaling, And even before he further upgraded his armor, he straight up survived an attack from Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. So he's definitely pretty damn durable. And like, if for those people that might think that Doctor Doom does not have hands, can you like enlighten them?
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm the resident Doctor Doom expert. I probably have like hours of Doom content on my channel alone. You can join my Discord, hit me up. I do have a server with literally every Doctor Doom appearance ever, if you want to talk business to get access. But shameless plug, back on topic. This is a character that straight up beat Taskmaster in hand-to-hand combat. Taskmaster is a martial artist and mercenary within Marvel that has literally copied the styles and fighting prowess of all of the top fighters in Marvel, including Captain America, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, the accuracy of Hawkeye, all these different things, yet he can easily go toe-to-toe with him in martial arts. He, just to be a troll, took over the body of Daredevil and did Daredevil. It's like, just because he's Doctor Doom and he can do that. He's gone toe-to-toe with Black Panther and beat his ass, and Black Panther's one of the most well-rounded, hundreds of styles, perfected even unique styles to Wakanda, and yet he bullied Black Panther. In terms of skill, Doom is absolutely one of the top tiers in Marvel, which makes him a ridiculous character because he's essentially top tier in mystic arts or magic, he's top tier in martial arts, and he's top tier in technology. And he utilizes all of this, especially in combative situations. We've seen recently in Doom 2024, he took on a Galactus that wiped out the entire Pantheon of Celestials by himself, 0 difficulty. And when Doom took him on, it was stated Doom would have wiped out any other version of Galactus, which it also implies fully fed Galactus, who is easily on par with other abstract beings like Eternity, Phoenix Force, especially in classic comics, so on and so forth. And despite getting taken down initially, he was assumed and calculated to be the one being that actually could stop this Galactus, who also deleted and destroyed every hero of Earth and the universe, who all prepped for him to arrive. So for him, to keep in mind how strong this Galactus was, this is a Galactus that his heralds were the Molecule Men of the multiverse. Molecule Man famously known for boxing Beyonder, the guy who's literally God. So, case in point, Doctor Doom has pretty much seen it all, done it all. He took on the Elder God Chthon, even went to his realm, with Chthon being the being that powers Scarlet Witch. So, for a reference point, Scarlet Witch blinked one time, said a sentence, and completely disrupted the multiverse and erased several powers for mutants. It was ridiculous. So that power comes from Elder Gods that Doctor Doom can not only box, but he can beat if he fights them a second time. Beings like Thanos have to keep track of what Doctor Doom is doing because he's that insane and that insanely capable. So overall, Doom is essentially good at everything, walking plot armor. He's bullied his own authors before. I literally have it on record from a writer that the editorial team at Marvel says Doom can't really lose because he's just that guy. So if just that guy was a living incarnation in comics, it's Doctor Doom.
Okay, so now when we're analyzing the side of Dragon Ball, what can they bring to the table? In this case, we know that they can at least reach multiversal levels going in the canon like lore within Super. You can argue complex multiversal and even hyperversal levels within the games, depending on how you view the whole reality to fiction transcendence that we have seen in Xenoverse and Heroes. You could even argue like outerversal, going off like a Rayleigh scaling meta that, you know, she can theoretically like transcend her own narrative loop infinitely. So I say that most consistent range is multiversal for like the canon as a complex multiversal for the games. I personally don't really agree with the outerversal meta, but if we are using it, how would this exactly change the matchup? And like, before we get into like specific matchups, what do you think is like the general consensus on like, you know, scaling them side to side?
I think Marvel definitely has a lot more nuance to its scaling, a lot more credibility in terms of dozens upon dozens of feats and sources to place the cosmology at different outerversal tiers if we're going by classic power scaling jargon.
Could you give examples of that?
Yeah, sure. So we know Hell, for example, is beyond all time, space, and dimensions. It's abstract in nature. We've seen in classic Marvel, which does not scale to current Marvel, we've seen that because Doctor Strange has literally brought back from old comics the versions of himself from the classic era. These eras had realms beyond dreams, they had realms beyond abstract imagination, time, mathematics. You previously had mentioned the Dark Dimension, which is said to be beyond logic, dualities, math itself, any kind of dimensions, with infinite, endless gulfs, gaps, and depths in between. It's just an insane realm, and that's not even one of the highest realms. There's also explained to be between these dimensions and these different cosmological aspects of Marvel, there's infinite and endless gulfs in between those. So it keeps going, and you can keep arguing. It's just a lot more extreme in what's presented as the cosmology than Dragon Ball has any real hardcore evidence for, even if we're like real friendly with the Dragon Ball scaling. Essentially, any standard you apply to Dragon Ball, it's been replicated multiple times by Marvel, and then it will have even stronger stuff in Marvel, like things like narratives transcending narratives. That's pretty commonplace in Marvel. We've even seen who would probably be considered lower tiers by like a casual audience. Like, for instance, a lot of people probably don't think Ben Grimm beats Goku, but Goku's more extreme scaling would derive from something like narrative transcendence, in which we've seen Ben Grimm literally choke Stan Lee's ass out. Like, it's pretty bad too. The Celestials themselves have created narratives, ideas beyond imagination, things that like framework that existed before creation itself, which puts it beyond all dimensions. There's just countless cases in the cosmology of Marvel just outright being bigger than Dragon Ball, and that's not really an insane take. Even if you take, this is what I like to say, if you take Dragon Ball at its highest possible scaling within reason for the cosmology, at the highest possible scaling within reason for Marvel, Marvel takes it.
I personally interpret the afterlife as being a higher spiritual dimension to the mortal universe, but I don't think it is a literal conceptual transcendence. There's also stuff like the subspace in Dragon Ball being stated to having no concept of space and time, and the hyperbolic time chamber being stated to be endless in a novel. But even if we said that these realms were outer, and Super Saiyan God Goku could wipe it out, and then gone quadrillions of times stronger with True Ultra Instinct, and then you said that Gohan and the others would scale from that, it doesn't really matter because Marvel has higher cosmological layers anyways, no matter what way we downplay the cosmology.
So, cosmologically, it would probably be like a bad faith argument to argue the higher scales of Marvel, like the higher areas in the cosmology, are not outerversal. I don't really feel comfortable saying its highest layers can be lowballed to like multiversal. It's just not true. So it's like, you can't really do that. So at its lowest, it's outerversal. So I feel like it's got a puncher's chance regardless. Something we agreed to off air, even though we disagreed on certain things, we kind of agreed the upper half of the team, the stronger half, they, like, regardless of how we flip the cosmology and how we perceive it, whether low, mid, or high, they're hanging with anyone here. Downplay Wolverine gets knocked out. Wolverine's gotten dropped by deer before. This might get real. Like, yeah, he got caught by a deer. He's been like knocked down by. Basically, if Garth Ennis writes Wolverine, Wolverine's. But like he's been knocked down by tractors and bulldozers. Like, it could get real dangerous out here. But jokes aside, I do think I told Chuck pretty adamantly I think Spider-Man's cooked. Speed-wise, I think he could be a nuisance for a little bit. We mentioned earlier, like, as supplements, he could be useful. The web could be annoying. I do think someone like Goku would just kind of walk through his webs. Maybe it would hold him back a little bit, but that's like wishful thinking. I do think he could maybe web one of them in the face, like dodge, web him. I definitely do think his speed arguments are what save him for a little bit, but once they catch his ass, he's cooked. This is a chaotic question I kind of wanted to ask you live, I guess, but I know Boo can absorb other characters. Given Wolverine has an adamantium skeleton, could he absorb adamantium?
I mean, if the adamantium is considered organic, since it is part of his skeleton, I believe that Boo could absorb him for sure, and it would be very annoying to deal with for the Marvel side.
Wolverine's annoying as and he probably survives whatever they throw at him, but unless he catches someone slipping, I don't actually think he's going to go too crazy in this tournament, especially with the no-kill rule. Honoring that would probably make him a little less effective. There are arguments out there that exist that he could beat Goku. I know they exist because I've done that, but in a general sense, I don't think like he's Goku level. So he's probably going to get boxed up after Spider-Man. Iron Fist is dangerous. I think we do need to acknowledge he's quite capable, especially if he fully unleashes the Iron Fist on someone. But like we thought of a weird situation where we know he like passively one-shot Hulk, turned him into Banner by reducing his rage and Gamma. What if he like looked around and did that to Broly on accident? That'd be wild. Like Broly just chills out. That would be interesting. Whether or not I think it would happen, not quite sure. But he can heal others. His chi punches are insane. He's probably the most skilled fighter here. I definitely think, and I guess that's something I'll address, I definitely think the higher tiers, the upper echelon for martial arts and Marvel is superior to Dragon Ball. Literally, Iron Fist knows infinite techniques and styles developed beyond time, space itself. And Wolverine can box with him. Others can box with him. So, yeah, their skill level is probably superior to Dragon Ball. Pretty safe, like pretty comfortable arguing that. And so it does make him dangerous, although I will say his durability is a problem. Any of them lands a clean shot on him, he's probably going to sleep. So, yeah, he's going to get his rocked. Blob can hang with anyone here. If they stand in the pocket with him and his feet are firmly planted on the ground, he's going blow for blow with anyone. However, he doesn't like temperature-altering attacks. They don't kill him per se, but they're annoying for him. Fire, energy. So if you like bomb his ass repeatedly with energy attacks, that's problematic. If the ground is compromised, he's a lot weaker. Conclusion, I think he's dangerous for anyone that's dumb enough to get up close, but once they figure out they can stand far away, blow up the ground. My boy Dukes is kind of an idiot, so Blob would definitely be like, oh, this is how my power works. And anyone there is capable of being like, all right, f your power then. And blowing up the ground. And then he's probably not going to do too well after that. But I will say he could probably recover in time to get back into it. So, I don't know. He's a weird one, but he's limited to brawling and the ground being perfectly under his feet. So, I think he would either get taken out of the equation or not be as effective as you want him to be. In terms of anyone else that goes down, I think it gets weird to argue about Storm. Storm's AP can, in my opinion, easily mess with anyone here on the Dragon Ball side, but her durability is not incredible. She can be caught off guard. Her durability is not that extreme to begin with. But again, if she catches you, you're fried. To be honest, if you hit her clean, you better hope you put her down. She's definitely going to fuck you up if you, like, almost put her on a t-shirt. But yeah, AP 100% there. Not sure the durability is. So I'm okay if you argue the higher tiers on Dragon Ball can catch her slipping at some point. I draw the line here. Chuck's kind of doesn't, but I'm comfortable arguing this. I do think Ben Grimm's fine. I basically would summarize it as Ben Grimm might not be the MVP, but he's going to be a role player and he's not going to go down, especially when you surround him with characters like Hulk and Ghost Rider. These are guys he's fought countless times with. He might fuck around, throw Wolverine at someone, try to just use an adamantium fastball. Yeah, he might kill someone. And then he brawls Zeno in the stands, like live on galactic television. So he's absolutely a monster. Doesn't have crazy hacks, but he has hacks resistances. He's as tough as they come. He's definitely boxed people as strong, if not stronger, on Dragon Ball's side. So being in the pocket with any of them, he's not really going to care. And I mean, the dude historically has a fantastic record against Hulk. Beats up Heralds. Like, goes against Galactus. This is a menace. And you know, people often get it confused. They think he just got some weird cosmic ability like his other teammates, but it's more extreme than that. Their powers tested the same as the power cosmic, essentially. So it's an insane amount of power and potential he has. He's even been shown in different spin-off timelines from the 616. He could kill Doctor Doom if he just lost his chill. So I definitely think Ben Grimm as a brawler is a lot more formidable in this than people might initially give him credit for, especially when he has such a good rapport as well with even some of the bad guys like Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's fought with Ben Grimm at the end of creation, basically. They have respect to an extent for each other. They hate each other, but they respect their capabilities. So I definitely think he's slept on in this setting with the roster surrounding him.
Yeah, so I definitely did disagree, like, with the whole assessment of him, like, fighting, like, Goku and Vegeta, like, at their peaks. But, you know, after, like, you know, he basically, like, told me more and more about, like, what he's capable of. Like, I definitely do think that, you know, it's possible that he can beat them for sure. He is going to have, like, some difficulty with, like, the range issues because he doesn't have range attacks.
I do agree with that. And that's why I kind of said he's more role player than MVP, because it'd probably be a case of where others take them out and he's still around. You know what I mean? Like, sure, if anyone gets in close quarters or gets close enough to fight him, he's putting in work. But until then, he's not really probably going to eliminate anyone unless they're dumb enough to get close enough for him to do that. But, you know, there's also some danger with, like, let's say Doctor Doom and says, hey, I like to fuck around. Let me teleport Ben, you know, and just start doing crazy combos. There's a lot of potential there. I definitely think he can at least survive, because I guess we're kind of leading into it. The next four, or the last four, however you phrase it, I think they cook. Ghost Rider, Hulk, Apocalypse, Doctor Doom. Oh my god, I apologize, Goon Nation, but Doctor Doom, dude, that four, they're doing what they want in this tournament. Like, they're getting money. I don't think Doom goes down. I think whether you look at the scaling aspect or narrative, who's superior, his bag of tricks is too extreme. We even saw when he fought that Galactus, that one shot all the Celestials, he survived through mysticism while pretty much on death's door. Like, he won't die, which will give time for someone else to heal him, which, you know, if Iron Fist is still around, he could do that. Ghost Rider might be able to, I don't know, do some weird with the hell magic. I don't think they take down Ghost Rider. I think Ghost Rider is an absolute problem. I'm pretty much going to ignore their hacks, run through, chain people up, swing them around, put some hands on them. It's going to get real. This Hulk doesn't care. If Hulk lands a punch, you're cooked. At this point in time, like, this is a Hulk that's the anger of God, the anger of the one above all. Beat up a false aspect of the one above all. Beat up one of the Ghost Riders. Beat up a being that was superior to Man-Thing, who was protecting the nexus of all realities. He one-shot Dormammu's son, who has the same power as him. Like, it's crazy what this Hulk's capable of. He's frying anybody he gets close to. It's just rough. Apocalypse could potentially take members of the Dragon Ball team, because none of them have the scaling in a telepathic sense or spiritual sense to contend with Apocalypse, no matter how y'all frame the cosmologies. So he basically takes Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or 4 of them, Death, Famine, so on and so forth. He could take members of Dragon Ball, turn them into his Horsemen. Imagine if he turns Boo into the Horseman of Death and sends him back at the Dragon Ball team.
Oh,
that's
dude. Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, I think even Dragon Ball fans would be like, oh, that's kind of metal as f-. So it's rough with that top 4. I think even if I were to say, oh, Ben goes down, which I don't agree with. I want that on record. But if he went down, though, that top 4, no, you're not. And it's only going to get worse for Dragon Ball the more of Team Marvel they pick off. Because that's the more angrier, locked in, and desperate the rest of Team Marvel will get. And an all-out Doom, Apocalypse, Ghost Rider, Hulk? Oh, God. Good night. Y'all beat Spider-Man, though. Team Dragon Ball, you did beat Spider-Man. I have to give it to you guys. I don't see a world where he survives.
I also think that Doctor Doom could hack the robots from Universe 3 and the Universe 7 androids, since they do have biomechanical components.
Dude, he broke into Galactus' ship and started hacking it. Like, he doesn't give a damn. Oh yeah, the androids are probably GG if he just decides to passively hack them. Another thing, like, what if he just decides, I'm going to put down a hex that keeps the ground around Blob completely stable? They're cooked. Dragon Ball's cooked. He's basically got God right there. Doom's just going to keep him there. He's going to be like, everyone get behind Blob. His shields he can throw up around people, the way he can maneuver the chess pieces. He also has someone of his intellectual somewhat equal, an Apocalypse. So they would be incredibly dangerous because they're both smarter than anyone on the other team. The way he could wombo combo with Apocalypse is disgusting. I did say this off camera. I think Frieza hard counters the penance there, which would be hilarious because Frieza does not give a. So he would actually probably one-shot the penance there. But brawling wise, Ghost Rider's beating up everybody else. Yeah, if Thanos got a boner and like Frank Castle didn't care, Frieza definitely won't give it. And Doom could also, I guess if it wants to, I guess we could use this as a final nail in the coffin to make more reasoning for the Marvel side apparent. Doctor Doom, like I said, passively could preserve his life and come back after fighting that Galactus. That was a passive spell. Imagine if he actively applies that to others, which he's shown resurrection before. He's literally walked into hell, depowered, went up to Mephisto, punched him, and went after his mom. You know, like, he's crazy. But if he used that kind of mysticism he could basically infinite respawn, infinite stamina refill for the rest of his team. Like, he could do some weird like that. Spider-Man keeps coming back to lose. It would be spectacular. But like he could amp them.
Oh, that's true. They could amp Iron Fist and Spidey and dude, that it won't be, dude.
Yeah, like what if Apocalypse just took Wolverine, Iron Fist, Spider-Man, and Blob and made them horsemen? Maybe even make Sting a horseman. Like, there's options for the Marvel side that's like disgusting combos. I would feel bad if they started spamming that against Dragon Ball. I'd be like, ease up, fellas. It's just a tournament. But yeah, it tons of win cons for Marvel but we gotta highlight surrounding that top 4. The other 6, they honestly don't need.
So, how do you feel about the Mafuba? Do you think that it could work on beings like Iron Fist or the Thing?
Iron Fist has actually punched out of dimensions before. Ben Grimm hasn't really done that, but I kind of told you this off camera. They have Doctor Doom there, and Ghost Rider can travel through dimensions. Like, Doctor Doom would just snatch them back, bring them right back. Wouldn't matter to him. Ghost Rider could do the same. Yeah, like, as soon as that's brought into play, Doom will shove it up his ass. Like, that's gonna, like, oh, you want to play those games? Let me send you to hell to talk to Mephisto. Like, it would not be a fun response from the team.
What about Boob's absorption? Do you think it could work on anyone, and could anyone on the team really counter it if it did happen?
Doom could. I mean, this is a guy that somehow chainsawed Hulk away from Bruce Banner. Like, I don't know how the that works, but Doom's done like that before. I also think there's a very questionable list of who Boo could pull that off against. Plus, I don't think it's instant, right? Like, you got to get up close to them, absorb them. Yeah, I mean, the other team would see, like, if that happens to Spider-Man, like, who gives a fuck if Boo absorbs Spider-Man? Is he gonna dodge things slightly faster? Like, all right, like, cool enough, bro. But like, there's certain characters it would matter if he'd probably be a little more annoying absorbing Wolverine than he would Spider-Man because of the healing factor. But yeah, but Doom would send him to hell. So yeah, that's something where it's like, cool. I guess if he absorbs Blob, he'd probably just become more refined in his body control. That would be sick if he got Blob's ability and just sat there and tried to camp. But again, there's members of Marvel that could counter that, and I don't think he's absorbing the higher tiers.
Another possible win con I was thinking of for the Dragon Ball side was, what if Vegeta used Spirit Vision on Banner to separate his personalities and make him weaker? But as we discussed off stream, it seems like Brother Voodoo has already tried that and was not successful. Which is pretty crazy because this fool has beaten Doctor Doom before, and he's even seen as a threat to Doctor Strange. But yeah, there you guys go. That's how we think the battle would go down. Anything else you wanted to say, my G?
Yeah, you'll be seeing Chuck on my channel more. You'll be seeing me on his channel more. I think we discussed doing DC version as well, like updated in the Tournament of Power. I'm considering doing What If Bleach was in the Tournament of Power, which I think would be fun to bring to the community. We're cooking a lot for y'all, so just stay in the kitchen. Shout out to all my subscribers, and if you're a subscriber to Chuck, I hope you come show some love to my channel. I'm also on Twitter now, so I guess that's my only plug I need to drop too. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. This was definitely, especially because, you know, back in the day, this is kind of how I got into Chuck's channel, and that's how we eventually met. So definitely dope to revisit those memories.
Yeah, man, always happy to talk with you, and I love your immense knowledge on this stuff. Anyways, fellas, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace out.
Yeah, I'm just glad we didn't have to tell the truth about Blob versus Zeno.